We are working with their scientists in the drug discovery process. We are creating the technology platform. We have put in the AI so that their scientists have all the tools and the bells and whistles to accelerate and better position to do the drug discovery.
Hello and welcome to a very special podcast series, Unusual Suspects. I'm your host, Gaurav Chaudhary. This is a series about unraveling stories of entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals who are disruptors, yet not in your face. Their disruptions have consistently delivered on the purpose and the mission they've embarked on. Their values are as strong as the mission. While they're ruthless in pursuing their ambition, they don't stray from being leaders who are not just admired for the vision and relentless pursuit, but also for how they're building an ecosystem of believers who consistently push the boundaries. In each episode, I speak to one such leader, talking to her or him or them about their businesses, lives, inspirations, interests, challenges, pivot moments and turning points, successes, failures, agonies and ecstasies, and of course, the little joys of life. It is as much about their personal life stories as about their entrepreneurial, professional, and philanthropic journeys. Unusual Suspect streams on Earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which is now YT Music, moneycontrol.com, and a host of other podcast streaming platforms and directories. For this episode, I'm delighted to have Raj Babu, endearingly called Raj by his friends and peers, the founder and CEO of Agilisium. Raj holds over 24 years of expertise in data engineering, advanced analytics, cloud technologies, and digital transformation. He has worked across industries such as media and entertainment, retail, and consumer goods. His leadership has been pivotal in crafting cloud and data transformation strategies for over 20 Fortune 500 companies, including Universal Music Group and Comcast. In 2014, Raj founded Agilisium Consulting Services with a mission to empower businesses by transforming data into actionable insights. What began as a bootstrapped venture has grown into a thriving multi-million-dollar enterprise under his stewardship, achieving 70% year-on-year growth and expanding its global footprint. Welcome to Unusual Suspects, Raj. Delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Gaurav. I'm delighted to be on the show.
Raj, let's start with something that is currently dominating discussion in the world, particularly with respect to artificial intelligence, which is essentially data processing at an extreme efficient form, which is DeepSeek. It's a Chinese response to OpenAI, and whatever we read, we have been reading, we see that it's far more efficient than OpenAI, which has kind of impacted everyone, the US, the markets, and also India too, in terms of the impact it can influence, it can have on almost everything that we've been doing, particularly businesses. What's your general view about which way the artificial intelligence universe is moving towards?
See, the artificial intelligence universe is definitely, I think, it's groundbreaking in many ways, right? I've been in the industry, I've been hearing about AI for almost 10 years, but with the advent of LLM, it's interesting to know, many people don't know, Gen AI is actually a subset of AI. But that is what really brought the whole AI to the kind of, it's a common man's terminology it has become. Before Gen AI was not a common man's terminology, it's a terminology of scientists in laboratory. So that's the power of Gen AI and LLM. So it basically, the value it unleashed, it really made the AI of not some of the elite and the scientists, it's available, useful for them. It really commoditized the AI for everybody in the world. That's the power of Gen AI. So what it is going to do, it's just the beginning. We are in the beginning of the beginning. And how far this is go, it's going to be like, where in the world we don't use electricity? There is nothing there in this world where in today's world we don't use electricity. And pretty much, I would say 20, 25 years from now, that would be Gen AI. There is not a place where we won't use Gen AI. So we are all witnessing the beginning. So think about, we were 120 years back and witnessing the electricity for the first time, that is the moment we are in witnessing the power of Gen AI now. And this is going to have multiple decades of run, completely transforming humanity. Largely, I would like to believe positive, but even a positive thing has its consequences, right? Because there are losers and in a short term there are winners and losers, and it's going to have a consequence. But largely, it's going to significantly transform.
What's your view on the disruption that DeepSeek has caused, and what's the way ahead you see taking that it could create and ruffle in the Gen AI space, particularly in the context of India?
See, I think the DeepSeek, the markets, US markets, really is not about the DeepSeek itself, the product or all stuff. Yes, it's superior, it's better. I think it's more sentimental because what was DeepSeek able to do? See, we need to understand for the last 100 years or 120 years, the leader of technology in this world, always anything groundbreaking technology was always done by America, United States of America. It always came from there. That's the thing. There is no other country which has really done a groundbreaking. They always follow through, they copy, or they even sometimes do better and something, but nothing groundbreaking, right? Anybody else have done. And that too in a significant technology. I think the shock waves that DeepSeek is sending in US is not that just that it is very better. It is that very better. If this DeepSeek was done by another American company, it's no big news. It is another news, another big headline news, one-day news, right? The only company which would have been impacted would have been the ChatGPT and few others, the competition. Why the DeepSeek news entirely shook the US market was something more significant. If a Chinese company, which is not in America, a Chinese company can do a groundbreaking technology, this is not a threat to ChatGPT. This is to threat to the American technology supremacy itself, which is a serious concern, right? For many reasons, right? Many reasons. So that is why the market reacted the way they reacted on that level. I just want to make sure. That's why it's a big news. DeepSeek is a very big news. But now coming back to that DeepSeek itself, what is something it's very interesting is that it's open, right? Others can use, and then it's significantly cheaper, right? And it is also, they are saying it could be better in some ways or many ways than the GPT. So that is what is the big news, right? So definitely it's going to create a race now, right? The race, and think about it, right? Who is the largest software company in the world today? The number one, number two, number three, number four. If you take technology company, DeepSeek did not come from Microsoft. DeepSeek did not come with the Microsoft partnership. DeepSeek did not come from a Google or Google partnership. DeepSeek did not come from an Apple or Apple partnership. Same way, it did not come from AWS or Amazon. It came from without any American partnership from a small place. So that is a significant. So that means, one, it says you can be somebody not with deep pockets, with not that billion or $1 trillion, and you can do a groundbreaking technology, right? And it can come from anywhere. That is a shift. I think it has its pros and its cons. I think definitely it shows the pros that, hey, now the technology is not just of the $1 billion, $1 trillion companies. Anybody can come and do. That's the positive. The negative is, China being China. If China is going to get an upper hand, what does it mean for the rest of the world and for the West is another thing. So there is definitely a positive silver lining and there is a negative silver lining to this. We all have to watch. All I can say is it's very interesting times. So that's the significance of DeepSeek.
Absolutely. Raj, you founded Agilisium at the age of 40. drawing from decades of experience. What was that moment, that wow moment or the eureka moment, if I may describe, that inspired you to take this leap? Because it's, after all, founding a company is always a giant leap of faith. Could you tell us a bit more about your journey before Agilisium? How did this journey shape your vision for Agilisium, and what's the road ahead?
Yeah, thank you. So Gaurav, the thing is, see, usually the entrepreneurship, right? Usually there are people who are business entrepreneurs who create things all the time, but then there are entrepreneurs who there is a wave happening and they kind of ride that wave. They are surfers of the wave, right? So I was an entrepreneur, a surfer who caught the wave of cloud, right? When cloud opened up, I saw the opportunity. I saw a big wave coming, and I said, "Hey, that's the wave I have to ride because this is definitely going to, go on for some time. It's a big wave. I'm going to surf it." And I saw that opportunity. I was there surfing at that time in the cloud as in a different role, and then I said, "Hey, I don't know when a next wave like this comes and how old I would be. So this is the time to seize it." And I seized that opportunity. And the next big wave after cloud, and a multi times bigger wave now I see, is AI. But my entrepreneurial journey started. It's in the when I saw the cloud opportunity, I seized it, and as I calculated, it really worked out well, right? It was really it's like this, right? The trade winds in the olden days when the seafarers used to take advantage of the trade winds and move across the world. You need to be at the right place at the right time, and the wind will take you to the right places. So that has been my journey with cloud. But then, right, every new technology becomes a commodity after a few years. So now cloud is not the groundbreaking technology; it's a commodity. But the new technology now is the Gen AI, and I'm all set and all prepared and just as much, if not more, excited to ride this wave.
Yeah, absolutely. You very rightly said, and that's something that I will come to now, is about Gen AI, and you turned the lens on Gen AI, and it is how. But my question is more focused on how Gen AI is transforming drug discovery from target identification to clinical trials, the entire process. Can you share some specific examples of how Agilisium solutions have expedited drug development? Because here we're talking about expediting the process of research, right up to research, and using biostatistics in a far, far more efficient manner, and made these processes more cost effective.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that question, Gaurav. I will answer this question in two parts in a general terms, so that all of your audiences, I don't know how much they are into this industry. So I'll just give a general term, and then I'll give specifically some examples where we are working on. In the general terms is that today, basically, we know in a way, you can take the human body and the disease, and you can make it a digital version of it, right? And if we make a human body or the disease, all that in a digital version, then essentially we should be able to simulate that in a digital environment, right? So if we can replicate disease in a digital environment, then you can also replicate the treatment in a digital environment, and then you can see the cause and effect of the disease and the treatment in a digital environment. In principle, that's the whole philosophy here, right? So it's kind of simulation of the whole patient disease cure, right? And then now, once we have digitized, there is two huge value we see in this. One, you are not really trying out these, things on a human being. So it's or for that matter, animals or anything. It's a digital version. So you're not limited with all the limitations of physically trying on a thing. You can try n number of permutation, n number of combination without any ill impact on life, right? That is one. And you can try them in an accelerated speed because it's a digital version. So we can do 10x and 100x of experiments in a very accelerated fashion because it's in a digital one. So that is the power of digitization of drug discovery, treatment, and all that stuff. So this could be applicable to anything, right? So, and there was some level of reservation before COVID 20 on the governments and the regulatory departments on a completely accepting this. What one positive thing came about in the COVID is that in the COVID, because of the emergency and the need and for the treatment and all that stuff, the vaccination was okay for all the drug company to do more experiments, more things in digital so that they can accelerate the vaccination and stuff like that. When they accepted that, that became the norm of the FDA and other things. So it is not that the technology was not there, the technology was not there, was there, but the government, the department were not ready to accept it before. COVID made it possible to accept it. So once the acceptance happened, what happened is all the pharma companies started testing everything in more digital fashion. And so that it's faster, the medicine is faster, it's a better and the cheaper, because if you can develop a medicine in a faster and a cheaper way, that means the drug is going to be cheaper, right? So all that positive things are coming out of. That's why the pharma companies are heavily investing in digital, because they are going to get multifold ROI of that digitization. So that's kind of the overarching why pharma are adapting the digital in R&D and commercialization and all that stuff. With that being said, for example, we will give you one example. We are working with one of the leading healthcare institutes in San Diego. They are a research unit, and they are one of the leading healthcare, and there are many multiple Nobel laureates from medicine from that institute. We are now working with them, and we are helping them in matching of the kidney for the donor and the recipient through the digital AI and ML and advanced technology. And the whole concept being, how can you find the most suitable recipient for that donor rather than doing it in a priority order? What would be the highest success rate? And that is what we are doing. So these are some of the problems we are helping with the research institutes. We are helping our clients in identifying what large and small molecules they are more suitable for a particular kind of drug they are trying to formulate and stuff like that. And also in the patient targeting, right? So in that also we are helping them. So it's really, really fascinating. It's highly accelerating. It's extremely gratifying because we are using our data and the insights capability in patient care and patient welfare. And so it's a very meaningful thing. It's a highly, extremely gratifying because we are touching human life, and, we are helping an institution, an organization which is trying to make a difference in human well-being.
Absolutely. Raj, you rightly pointed out the kind of role that data plays and how you are helping break those barriers. So it would be right to say, and it would be because data stagnation has always been a persistent challenge in the pharmaceutical and the healthcare sectors. Now, probably with Gen AI and the kind of advanced data engineering and AI solutions that companies like yours are doing, I think that challenge probably we are on the verge of surmounting fully. So would it be right to say that you have in many ways fostered innovation through your AI solutions and broken down these barriers, Raj?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely AI makes it solving all these problems, which has been a traditionally kind of a more expensive and a difficult problem to solve. Gen AI and AI is definitely making it significantly easier and cheaper. No doubt about it, Gaurav.
Absolutely. And also, is it now because of these, because of Gen AI and AI tools, now drug discovery, we can see more startups sprouting up in this space because this has made data more accessible at a lower cost for drug discovery to smaller research institutions and startups, because you don't need that much of the level of capital that was required say 10 years ago is not required, because data efficiency has crept in significantly. So if I may ask you, how has Agilisium contributed to this democratization of innovation, if I may say so, and leveling the playing field in a market that is otherwise very, very crowded and competitive?
People in the bio side, right? They are the researchers, and they are core business people, be it in the STEM side or science, or in the business of pharma and healthcare. They understand the business problem. The challenge what they have is that really, hey, all these technology and the platform and the AI, how do you integrate all of them, and how do you work with them? That challenge they have. So they know how to what are all the things they need to solve the problem, but they may not have all the technology and the know-how. In that way, so some companies may have a lot more, resources and capable people to do that. Some companies may have not so much capability. And companies like us, who we go, and companies who don't have that capability, we make it leveling field. We give them that extra boost and step they need, so that they can go and be level with their competition. So that way, definitely, we are leveling the field, and we are helping them with the adaptation, and we are accelerating the drug discovery and innovation.
Now, Raj, can you help us with a specific client success story in all that we have said, and how we have solved multiple problems for them in a far more efficient manner?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a client where they are in cell and gene therapy. So basically, in the cell and gene therapy, it is basically for each and every patient, it's a customized therapy. So you need to draw their blood, and basically then you do, you take it to lab, design a drug specific for them, and then you make a drug for them, and then you give it to them, right? And that drug is only for them. We are helping them in the entire supply chain of this process, so that it's completely coded. Another company is one of the largest oncology leader in the oncology cancer treatment, drug maker, and we are helping them with the drug discovery process for the neonatal cancer, in some of the rare diseases and in neonatal care and stuff like that. So we are working with their scientists in the drug discovery process. We are creating the technology platform. We have put in the AI so that their scientists have all the tools and the bells and whistles to accelerate and better, in a better position to do the drug discovery.
Finally, Raj, the kind of work that you do, you were in the field of drug discovery and also work with a large number of pharmaceutical research companies. There's always a question of ethics, and that has been a big, it's one of the strongest pillars on which the entire pharmaceutical and healthcare sector, particularly the research universe, is built upon. How do you ensure that you have, you have built in the principles and very strong fences ethical fences that you are never going to cross, even while driving rapid innovation and value creation?
Thank you for that. It's a very good question, and this is an extremely serious topic, especially in the R&D side of the life sciences and pharma. The data access and security is very, very strongly protected, and we operate within those fences, and there are a lot of compliances that we have to adhere to and we have to sign. And the way we do is definitely we have our own compliance system. It's a compliance training, and we do a spot check, random check to make sure everything is in compliant. And there is a continuous training for all of our employees on all these things. So that is another way we stick with that. Needless to say, our customers in their environment, they have very strong fences, and because they have to adhere to by the industry standards. So they take it very seriously, and they do a phenomenal job with that. And we definitely operate within those parameters, and we make sure we also kind of do everything we can from our side to adhere to those.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you for taking the time out and sharing your insights and perspective and dropping by to have this conversation with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gaurav.